The AI bubble of 2024. In this video, I'm going to show you how we're currently inflating a massive AI bubble. But this bubble, in fact, would be one of the best opportunities ever to invest. And this is especially the case in cryptocurrency. So let me just compare to a trend we saw back in 2021. So if we search for artificial intelligence in Google Trends, you can see the trend since 2022 has been going up and is not showing any signs of slowing down. It's actually in the Far East where there's a massive amount of interest, and there's more and more interest now in various different types of software that rely on AI for their actual programming. Compare this to a previous trend we saw that was very big in 2021. That was the Metaverse. So let's click on that and compare. This is worldwide. Have a look at the chart. It's actually going down at the moment. And notice that once everything was trending, it was pretty much between October till January, probably December max. So we only had 2 or 3 months of trend in the metaverse, and we saw some crypto tokens 100x and even 1000x. This is a much bigger opportunity. And I feel a lot of people, especially people on YouTube and Twitter, are just not getting it, including a lot of influencers. Yes, AI is a narrative at the moment and a few coins will pump and will have pullbacks, but this is very different. This is massive. This is just like the internet bubble, because this will affect all of the different types of niches and categories, even of cryptocurrencies. AI will affect everything. And the other thing, the AI is not going to be a pump and dump kind of narrative. It's not going to suddenly go up like this and trend for a couple of months and then die off. I mean, I've just shown you the chart where we continue to go up. Now we might get a blow off top peak in interest. That might happen, and that will probably coincide with the top when it comes to some of these coins. So you have to be careful about that, and that's when all of retail are going to jump in. But that has not happened yet. And I think we have a good bit of time. I don't think it's going to happen like in the next few days or anything like that. I think we're early on. I think we're around here somewhere, actually, rather than anywhere near these peaks that we saw in the metaverse. So let's get onto some charts, and I'm going to share with you some of the newer AI coins that I'm looking at the moment. This is Sand USD, the sandbox. This is a cryptocurrency that was very much related to the metaverse narrative. Now notice how the chart looks almost identical to the Google Trends chart we saw. Basically from 26th of October, the price was already trending upwards slowly, but it suddenly shot up from 70 cents all the way up to nearly $9 and then crashed quickly thereafter after the end of November. This is what I'm talking about, but notice that we went up slowly all the way up from 1 cent. We had a first wave move, pullback, and then a second wave move, pullback. So we had kind of 3 distinct waves almost. And that's why I think we're very, very early. We're nowhere near this blow-off period yet, in my humble opinion. I think we're much, much earlier in this. And so that's one thing. So we're early. Fine, fair enough. We're early so we can make some gains. But then the other thing is the AI narrative is much, much stronger than this. I mean, there will be genuinely companies that have fundamentals that will actually help people live their lives in the coming years, and possibly some of them will be the crypto tokens, the crypto AI tokens. They could influence how we do things in the coming years. So there's a fundamental narrative there as well. It's not just going to be a Ponzi alone where people are just buying it because the price is going up and then other people are buying it and then the price keeps going up. It's not going to be that type of scheme alone. It's not just going to be narrative and hype. There's going to be some fundamentals. So this is really, really big. So if you've not researched it and you've not looked at a few coins, please take the time to research. You will regret it later this year if you don't. So following on from my last video, we're going to talk about a few coins that potentially could do really, really well in this run, and I think are very early as well. But just before we go through each particular coin, let me share with you a couple of strategies, especially those of you who are new and are trying to set up your first trades or first investments in cryptocurrency, especially AI coins. So the first thing is, when you hear about a coin anywhere, from me, it could be anybody on Twitter or YouTube, for example, come here to TradingView and check the chart. And when you check the chart and you type it in here, for example, this is MAN-USDT. So this is Matrix AI. If you have a look through the list, you'll see automatically where this is traded. For example, MEXC, KuCoin, etc. That way you will know where you can purchase this. So if you already have a Mexi account, for example, then you can easily buy and sell Matrix AI. So that's a little tip there. So search for it in here first, and you can quickly see where you can buy and sell that particular token. Next tip, when you're trying to set up a trade, first of all, start with a daily chart or a 4-hour chart to get the overall bigger picture trend. And the overall bigger picture, immediately when you see this, is long term, there was a big downtrend. This is actually an older coin. But in the short term, we've pretty much been vertical since 5th of Feb or so. So we've been going up in a straight line with few pullbacks. And you can see here the volume has been high. So a lot of people are aping into this particular coin. So that's the first thing. Next thing, if you want to trade it, drop down to a 15-minute chart, not daily or 4-hourly, because that's too high a time frame. Here, we drop down to smaller charts because we want to try and buy on a pullback. Now, this could be a smaller pullback during the day like these, or a larger multi-day pullback. Now, when you enter the trade, you're not going to get it perfect, but just look for stairs going upwards, higher lows, and then try and time your entry that way. Try not to randomly buy blind. Try and use some sort of strategy here, because otherwise you'll end up buying the tops. And you have to be careful with that, because just to get back into your position and get break even, it will go down 10%. You'll have to go up 10%. So it's not great in terms of risk reward. So be very, very careful with that. And the other thing is, with all of these moves, so let's just zoom out again onto, let's say, a 4-hourly. The other thing you have to understand is it's not going to go up in a straight line. So if this does indeed go ballistic upwards, it's going to go up in a few waves. And sometimes these periods of consolidation can last weeks, sometimes even months. In a bull market, not usually many months, maximum maybe 8 to 10 weeks, something like that. So we might see a big run up, and then we get what's called a local top. Local meaning just in that smaller time frame, it's a top signal and we're getting a pullback. And that pullback can take long. It can be sideways, or it can gradually go down a little bit, and then we get the next move upwards. And my advice with the AI coins in particular, because you don't really know which ones are going to go up or down 20-30% every day. It's not like the larger cap Solanas and Avalanche, for example. My advice is these are more like buy and hold. And I feel we are in early. So if you get in a pullback and you're in profit, there shouldn't be any rush to sell anytime this year, unless obviously you need that cash and liquidity for some reason. Now, if you found those tips helpful and you'd like more kind of information about that, I'm more than happy to go into it in a lot more detail. Please just comment below, and obviously hit the like button if you're enjoying the content. So this is Matrix, so that's definitely one you should add to your watch list. Again, wait for pullbacks. Another one here I'm watching as well is Ocean. And this is one that had some volume come in just a few days ago. So this is a 4-hourly. So you can see the general trend. It's been moving up since February again, but not in any massive way. It's barely done a 2x, which I know sounds like a lot, but for the recent AI rallies, it isn't really. And we could be very early in the move. So again, look for pullbacks and consider taking a position if it makes sense to you. Another one I'm watching, same reason, it's Golem, Golem, and the ticker is GLM USDT. And this particular one, same scenario, and very late volume coming in. So this volume just came in literally a day or two ago. So again, it could be an earlier move compared to some of the other AI coins, which we've seen rally a lot already. For example, this is WorldCoin, still going up. I mentioned it in the last video, and it's still going up 20% every day. It's crazy. Again, pullbacks, buy the pullbacks, and we're seeing good volume. But the thing is, it has already rallied now, I would say, what we're talking, but pretty much a 4x or more in just a period of a couple of weeks. So those are the ones you need to be careful about, because those are the ones that are probably running earlier than the other AI coins. So you can, it's almost like a race where you can, if this was the timeline, stuff like WLD running first, then GLQ, and then FET and GRT are running, and now you're getting some of the tiny ones running. So we're kind of a little bit later in this particular wave, so it may make more sense to go for the ones that have only moved a little bit so far and are seeing volume coming in. But like I said, within probably days or a couple of weeks, we'll see some sort of local top, and then we may see consolidation for a while. So just be careful with that. Next one, Agras, and that's AGRS USD. And this one we've kind of seem to be getting the start signs of a move, or it could just be all corrective going up. So it's a new one, but one you have to be a little bit more careful with. Notice none of these, I'm not discussing any fundamentals. I mean, I do know some of the basic information about each coin, but that's for you to research and obviously have a more detailed look into. And like I said, a lot of the reason these are going to move a lot isn't fundamentals, is going to be more so hype and narrative. However, if you can combine hype with a decent fundamentals, then over the course of 2024, those ones will probably rally the most. But again, in previous cycles, I've seen some just run a lot on hype alone. So I still tend to focus more on technical analysis. But the other kind of things you might want to look at is when you're looking at market cap, for example, you want to check if it's fully diluted market cap, or if there's a possibility they're going to be releasing more tokens. All of these types of things. Another one I'm watching is Claw AI. This has really interesting fundamentals, CLORE. And that's one you can definitely research as well. And this one, we've gone up from 11 to 22. So we've only done kind of a 2x, and we've not broken this high yet that we saw in December. Again, it could be setting up. And if we do break out, I imagine usually what happens is we get to these levels, we usually get some sort of pullback. Now, this all could be a larger correction, so we can't rule that out. However, if we get a breakout and there's not really that much volume, but if we get a lot of volume coming in here, then we could move really fast. And by the way, these tokens I'm sharing with you, these are anywhere from kind of 10 million, mostly to about 200 million max. I kind of don't look at the ones that are already billions in market cap, because the multiples are just going to be a little bit less, and they can still get massive corrections. So from a risk reward, for me personally, it doesn't always make that much sense. That's it for this one. Thanks for listening.